And good afternoon. We are coming over the air to tell you about a wildfire right now that is burning near Highway 58 and 223. And now this fire is burning quite out of control.
And we were getting word about evacuations in the area. It's not clear how big this fire is at this moment. Right now, we are monitoring the situation. We have information up on our website here. You can see where this is located. We're pulling up a map here for you. This is at Highway 58 and Highway 223. This is kind of in the Arvin area, just west of Tehachapi, and you're looking at live video right now. And
just moments ago, we got off the phone with Kern County Fire, and they did confirm to us that they are evacuating Bear Valley Springs right now. The message from the fire captain on the phone with no uncertain terms to residents in Bear Valley Springs was to get your belongings and get out. Some of the reports we've heard on the scanner, what we've been listening to is firefighters, as we see now a helicopter moving into this area along with the air tankers that have been called. They're not confident they can stop this fire from reaching Bear Valley Springs. That's why they put evacuations order in place right now.
And if you are in this area, it is really important to note here that Highway 223 between Highway 58 and Arvin, they have shut down that area so that crews can get through there and to tackle this fire. So if you are planning on getting out, if you know people in the area, those roads are going to be affected by this fire.
Yeah, your best option if you are in Bear Valley Springs right now, of course, you know the routes in and out, but head towards, of course, Stallion Springs and back towards Tehachapi on Highway 202, as if you're heading south in any direction, you will run into this fire potentially. So your best way out, of course, the only way out really of this area is to head back towards Tehachapi and then, of course, to Highway 58 where you'll be all clear. As we're looking at live pictures, this firefight intensifying in the better part of the last 30 minutes as we see CAL FIRE crews now getting on scene. They've ordered 4 helicopters and 4 air tankers along with hand crews. This is turning into quite a large firefight, and we mentioned now evacuations orders in place for Bear Valley Springs.
This is a situation that we are going to continue monitoring throughout the day as conditions in the area, in our area, all week long have been hot. They've been dry. The wind has been a factor for firefighting. This is a situation that we've been seeing in the Erskine fire. What kept that burning, and they're most likely dealing with a lot of these same factors up in this area as well.
And the big concern, of course, from firefighters when you get a fire like this, it's burning uphill, and just so happens to be burning uphill towards Bear Valley Springs. That gives them a big concern because, of course, there's some 5,000 people, according to the last count of the census a few years ago, living in that area. And so this is definitely a concern for firefighters, as we were hearing over the fire scanners and police scanners that they were not certain they could stop this fire. That's why they went immediately to evacuation orders and wanted to get the word out. We were told Bear Valley Springs Police, if you are in this area, will be coming presumably door to door as they get into this area. Of course, Kern County Sheriff is also in Tehachapi in that area, so presumably they could be also coming around to your neighborhood, and you could be seeing a law enforcement presence pretty soon.
Yeah, and just to recap kind of what we've been talking about so far, right now you're looking at the area on your screen right now that is most likely affected by this. This is the Bear Valley Springs area. We are getting reports that there have been evacuations of that community. We're not sure how much brush at this point the fire has burned, but we are getting reports that the fire is moving upwards, that there are 4 air tankers that are tackling this fire, and this is again just near Highway 58 and Highway 223.
It went out as 10 to 20 acres, but as you can see from these pictures and from that charred land we saw as our camera pulls out here, this has grown well beyond that. As you can see, it jumped that first hill. This is from our vantage point where our camera set up. This is Highway 223. You are looking right towards Bear Valley Springs, and again, this fire has jumped that initial hill, and all you have to do is look on a map, and there's not many more hills beyond that until you reach that community. And especially with this upslope in this area and the winds that are a factor, this fire, as Kern County Fire, we could hear them talking about, is moving fast. They're concerned, and they're getting a jump on this. We have Jesus standing by in the studio here. Jesus, any indication of what we're seeing out towards Arvin? In the mountain communities, is there something to be concerned about for weather conditions right now?
Weather conditions right now near that area, we have humidity index really low at around 23%. That's extremely dry. That's extreme dry conditions. The winds are blowing from the south-southwest at around 12 miles per hour with gusts of up to 22 miles per hour. So winds are a bit strong, so that helps for the fire to spread more, so you have to be very cautious about around that area as well. And then current temperatures are around 91 degrees, so it's extreme. It's hot, it's dry, and the winds are not helping also. So if the winds are blowing from the south-southwest, which is that direction, that means that it's pushing that fire upslope, like you just mentioned. So yes, it will keep on spreading northward if that winds continue in that same direction, Tim.
Yeah, we see these live pictures. I mean, this, Jesus, is pretty concerning to see right now. I mean, this is a large plume of smoke in a large fire area right now. As we sit here with Jackie, I mean, this is something that we've obviously seen with the Erskine fire, and now obviously a concern for the mountain communities. These things grow fast in these conditions, and especially with the weather that we're having today, this could be a recipe for a pretty dangerous situation. Yeah,
it's exactly what we saw with Erskine when that fire began. And again, this is mountainous terrain. This is terrain that is going to be difficult for firefighters. You know, this hilly area combined with the heat, the low humidity, and the winds, those are a perfect combination for these fires to just get out of control, and why we see these dramatic images like this, and why it is so difficult for firefighters to get a hold of this. They told us, you know, over and over again with the Erskine fire, that this hilly, mountainous kind of terrain is really difficult to tackle, but then you add on it again.
As we see what looks to be a firefighter. What I was wondering as we were just watching these pictures was, you know, have they deployed hand crews, so to speak? These are the guys that go on the front lines, they cut the fire lines, they have the tools in their hands to stop this fire. And as we can see on this live shot, this compressed shot right here, it looks like they've already deployed these hand crews. This firefighter on one of those first slopes gives you an idea of just how big these mountains are, just what they're up against. I mean, you're talking about a fire that is moving fast with potential weather conditions, and until you get the air support, until you get the helicopters and tankers in, it's certainly hard for the hand crews and the man crews to really get a handle on this.
I mean, all right, we are just getting word here that we do have a reporter, Cassie Carlisle. She's joining us now. She's in the newsroom. She's been monitoring this situation for us. Cassie, you've been tackling Twitter, Facebook. What are you learning for us?
Yes, you know, as you guys were saying, it's a very fast-moving fire. We just have very difficult conditions here, and people are really starting to freak out a little bit on our social media. We've got a couple pictures here. As you can see, that giant plume of smoke that looks very similar to what Jesus was showing you earlier up through this area, and then there's one other photo that I'd like to show you. Very similar angle, but again, you can just see how big the plume of smoke is, how dark it is. That shows that it is growing, it is feeding on that dry brush. And I am also looking at how many more. They're calling in more air tankers. It looks like there's going to be about 6 out there. They initially called out 4, so they are really trying to get ahead of this. I was also talking with Kern County Fire PIO earlier, and he was saying anyone in the Bear Valley Springs area, do not hesitate to evacuate. They want you to be safe. They want you to grab your animals, your loved ones, and get out and get safe away from this fire so that the firefighters can do their job. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Cassie, and we've seen, and we take these live pictures again, these hand crews that are, you know, tools in hand, with smoke behind them, charred at land, that they are trying to make their best effort on this. But this fire has moved, as we can see from these pictures, as we pull out, quite a ways away from Highway 223, and that is the concern tonight, because the first community in terms of the level, you go Bear Valley Springs, Stallion Springs, to Golden Valley, and then to Tehachapi. This is certainly a concern as we look at the map, and you just see where this fire is heading. And doesn't have a lot of, excuse me, I meant Golden Hills when I was referring to the communities here on the way into Tehachapi. So this is definitely a concern. We've already seen a few people posting to our Facebook page pictures from their vantage point, what they're seeing. Just a moment ago, we saw a picture come through. It looked to be a backyard of one of our viewers, and you could definitely see a plume of smoke in the distance. Now, of course, firefighters in these situations use an abundance of caution. This, of course, doesn't mean the fire is in Bear Valley Springs right now, but it is safe to say once they make that evacuation order, take it seriously, get out, and of course, if history is an indicator just recently to what this means, when these evacuation orders go out, as we saw in the Erskine fire, it is important to leave.
Yeah, and initially with the Erskine fire, they did say it was recommended for people to leave, and then obviously they boosted that up to mandatory evacuations for that area. We just saw a helicopter kind of trail off right there, and they're tackling this fire. What is being called, Kern County Fire tweeted this out. They're using hashtag. Cassie Carlisle, a reporter here, kind of monitoring the social scene. She was saying that there are 6 air tankers involved in this. She had mentioned that she was getting confirmation from that with Kern County Fire. They're working this fire. We have also seen CAL FIRE also contributing on this fire as well. And just to kind of reiterate, if you are in this area or if you know people who are in the area who need to get out, it's important to note that Highway 223 between Highway 58 and Arvin, they have shut down that because of this fire. And
Jesus, I'm noticing something on the radar. If we can pop that back up, the weather computer here. He's been monitoring the. Were those the winds, Jesus, that you just popped up there?
I was just right now updating this information. I'll show you right now. I was just writing what the index was, the humidity index was, where the fire more or less started around 223 and 158. Just putting the current temperature right now, which is in the 90s, is still hot around that area, and the wind direction is blowing. The wind direction is from the southwest around 12 miles per hour, and wind gusts of up to 22 miles per hour. So the winds would not help definitely in that department just to spread the fire. So I would just keep on updating this weather graphics, and I'll give you the latest information as I just update the computer graphics.
All right, Jesus, thanks, and we'll pop up these live pictures again. Again, just tuning into us here on 23 ABC, you're looking at live pictures. This is now being dubbed the Deer Fire, Kern County Fire, CAL FIRE, as well as multiple air tankers and Kern County Fire's helicopter, all assisting in this blaze that broke out just around 2:45, 3 o'clock, the better part of an hour ago. And within that time, we've seen this fire jump that first hill, move towards Bear Valley Springs, which prompted an evacuation order to go into effect. One of our reporters on the phone with Kern County Fire in no uncertain terms telling people, get out right now with your belongings. Do not hesitate, were their words, to get out of here. As we've seen and we've talked about so many times, especially in the last week, as we see another fire crew get on scene here with the Erskine fire, just how critical it is to to heed these warnings, to listen to firefighters, and your belongings certainly are not important in these situations.
Right.
Of course, it's your life.
Right, and you know, as Jesus was kind of mentioning, just something to kind of reiterate here is that this fire is closer, it looks to be burning closer to Highway 223, and those winds, and Jesus, I know you can hear me, so correct me if I'm wrong here, but those winds are moving southwest, and so it's moving towards the Bear Valley Springs area. The fire currently is just north of the Bear Valley Springs area, and that's why they want to evacuate that particular area, and why they're shutting down those roads in that area. Do I have that right? Those
you are
winds,
correct.
Winds,
yes.
Okay, are moving
yes.
southwest.
You are
and
correct.
We're told Cassie Carlisle back in our live center here with some new information. Cassie, what do you have for us?
Yeah, again, we're just monitoring the social situation here on this Deer Fire. We already have people who are sending prayers to the area. What the big fear is that this is going to be very similar to the Erskine Fire because it is heading towards a heavily populated area with people in their homes over their neighborhoods. Now, this is another view from a Breckenridge camera. You can kind of see back in this corner. It's a little difficult to see, but you can see that that smoke rising up there. It's just another way to look at this fire. And again, we have air tankers that are coming in trying to get a handle on this because they don't want it to get out of control. They don't want it to get near any homes, anything like that. And of course, if you are watching, please tell us what you're seeing out there. Use hashtag DeerFire or tweet at us or anything like that with 23ABC. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Cassie. So again, right now you're looking at live pictures. This is an area just near Arvin, kind of right between Arvin and Bear Valley Springs. Evacuations, it is, I think we can say right now that it's being recommended that people get out of the Bear Valley Springs area because this fire is burning just north of you, and the winds will most likely pull it in that direction. So they are tackling that area.
And the thing thing about this community that folks who are familiar with the mountains and have been up there is that there's really only one way in to this and one way out to this community. It's a very mountainous area, a very exclusive area. People who live in this community enjoy the fact that they are so far away from, Tehachapi, and they overlook the valley, and there's something to be said about that. In fact, just days ago, I saw a gentleman posting a picture from Bear Valley Springs with elk, beautiful shot looking down towards the valley. So there's a pristine nature to this area, and there's a remoteness that people like about Bear Valley Springs. Of course, in situations like this, it works counterintuitive to that, right? So we encourage folks who know this area and who realize that there really is only two ways in, really out, to get out of this area, because if you are trapped and this fire does jump another hill or gets into your near your backyard or near your property line, it could be only a matter of minutes before the fire gets closer to you. So grab your belongings. If you're in Bear Valley Springs, head over to any neighbors you have in surrounding communities. Drive up to the road there and just hang out and wait, because as we saw with the Erskine fire, these things move fast, and they jump lines, and they get into neighborhoods. Yeah, and if you are in this area, or, it's just always good to stay prepared. Some of the things that is important to grab, and have that on you. Obviously, belongings can be replaced. That's not the kind of thing that you want to think about. It's just making sure your family are safe, and then if you can, those critical documents, any insurance information that you're going to need, because as we have seen with the Erskine fire, insurance companies are coming back and saying, we will take care of any costs that you incur because of these evacuations. So if you have to stay at a hotel, those insurance companies, those are things that they will cover if you do have insurance. Okay, and of course, in this area, animals is a huge part of people's lives and their properties, and so do your best, but of course, your life more important than animals in this situation, and they'll be taken care of the best they can from firefighters who we presume are now on their way to Bear Valley Springs. But again, looking at the map, there really is, for the hand crews to get into this area and the first responders, they're going to have to swing all the way around through Tehachapi, because they can't pass on the 223 and head up into this area, which will be difficult, to say the least, getting through these back roads and getting up to the area. So again, if you are in this area, you haven't seen firefighters yet, maybe you've seen these air tankers circling overhead. Sheriffs are now probably, we presume, Bear Valley Springs Police and sheriffs perhaps moving into this area. Just get out when you can. As we're looking at live pictures, this fire seems to be jumping higher over that. And if you're familiar with Bear Mountain, which is, of course, one of the big mountains out towards Arvin, this is a very tall mountain, a very, lack of a better word, a mountainous area. And we can see from this shot, if we pull back out, just how high this fire is now burning up Bear Mountain and towards Bear Valley Springs. Which is the concern from firefighters tonight. Yeah, and you said that it was moving, it was just jumping this hilly area here. This all started, we started getting reports of this at around 2:45, and it started at about 10 acres, I believe. Those were the reports that we were hearing over from Kern County Fire, but it appears as though it has grown. We are still working to get confirmation on acreage right now. Of course, firefighters busy working on containing this fire, trying to keep it from getting to Bear Valley Springs at this hour right now. Yeah, the initial call went out at, this is according to CHP, about 2:08, yet, but fire crews didn't get on scene and really get a size, I think a scope for how big this was, till about 2:30, when they started closing down the roadways, closing down traffic, and of course now we've seen what we see now, that this fire is jumping over the hills. We are staying on air with you just as long as we can. If we can get an indication of how long we can be on the air, we will ask, of course, our producers to let us know when we can stay on with you, as we're looking at live pictures of this firefight that is aggressive, to say the least. An air tanker going overhead right now. We've seen as it's about to, looks like, make a drop, or perhaps. I thought it was going to, what they often do is bring in fire retardant to
try to put out the fire, to contain it, to stop it from moving. It didn't appear as though the air tanker dropped anything in that area, though. What you're looking at, again, these are live pictures. We have crews on scene for you, bringing you this breaking news right now. This is a very serious situation for people in this area, as the conditions are almost perfect for something like this. You have hot conditions, humidity, the wind is a huge factor. It's pushing it towards the Bear Valley Springs community.
I'm being told right now we're going to check in with Cassie Carlisle in our live center with some new information. Cassie, what do you have?
I'm here in the live center where this is the latest photo that I've seen, and you can just see it going up that hill like you were looking at the live video earlier. And by working on the Erskine fire, I've been talking with firefighters saying that is when a fire picks up, is when it goes uphill. It grows exponentially from that point. And we found out just about a half an hour ago that the fire at that time was at 20 acres. Obviously, it has grown exponentially from there. And just all over Facebook, all over Twitter, people have been saying, oh no, not again. They're really upset considering the circumstances, and they are also sending prayers to this entire area. Again, the best advice that firefighters are saying, especially if you're in this area, grab your loved ones, grab your pets, grab things that are essential, and just kind of get out of the way, get safe, so that you are not impeding these firefighters as they're trying to go in and do their job. Of course, as we can see, this is a very rugged area, which makes it even more difficult for these firefighters to do their jobs. We do have those air tankers that you have been seeing going through to help drop fire retardant, because it is hard to get firefighters in this area when there's not direct road access. Back to you guys.
All right, Cassie Carlisle, thanks as we leave you with these final live pictures. Again, a fire moving towards Bear Valley Springs community. We will keep watching this, of course, bring you the latest details on turnto23.com. We'll be on the air at 5 o'clock, and we'll give you any live updates as you need them first on turnto23.com. Until then, I'm Tim Callahan.
And I'm Jackie Ochoa. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you back here at 5 o'clock.